Today we're gonna talk about Christ consciousness. Hello, beautiful souls. So today I'm gonna talk to you about the process of ascension through the ladder of light and Christ consciousness, which is the end of the process of your ascension. So when people come to past life regression hypnosis, I always take them to the light experience, because I think it's important for people to know that when you leave each identity of all the different lifetimes that you're going to have around the universe, in the earth, and in different dimensions of your existence, it doesn't matter which life you're going through. What you really are and who you really are is in the light, is in your process of ascension, in the light, in your light body. So when you leave the density of the matter of the body, the dense body that changes through different lifetimes, what always remains inside the different lifetimes and outside the different lifetimes is your light body, is your soul. And your soul is doing a process throughout the whole universe of learning lessons and clearing energy and clearing its shadow, what we call karma. So in that process of ascension, we're gonna leave, all of us, we're experiencing a process of ascension through our essence, through our light body. So we enter the duality experience of each lifetime, where you're gonna have different densities, feminine, masculine, and different experiences, light and shadow, what we call good and bad, etc. That's inside the universe in the different lifetimes. But when you leave that life, each life in any dimension, it doesn't matter the dimension of the whole universal sphere, you go back to the light. And in the light, you are in different stages, in different steps of your own ladder of ascension. So what we have gotten to see through the whole different past life regression that I have done, and even in my own process of ascension, in my own regression, I have gotten the opportunity to see myself as a light being. People get to access different layers depending on their moment, depending on their soul level of consciousness and freedom and liberty and light. If you're more pure, you're going to be in an upper level of the ladder. And if you have more density to clear yet, you won't be able to enter to the light sometimes because you're not ready mentally. Your mind and your identity, your present self, is not ready to see who you are in the light. It doesn't mean that you're not in the light. You're always in the light because you're a spark of God, so there's no way you're not in the light. But sometimes your mind is not ready, and your higher self knows this, so it doesn't allow you to see who you are in the light, because you have to clear more density, or because you have to get into an upper level of awareness, of consciousness, to be able to understand that you can leave this identity, you can leave this mind, this particular self, and be who you really are, which is your soul. So the good thing is that if your mind is not ready, it's not going to take you there, because the higher self is the one that is directing the process all the time. It's directing your life. So you're not going to leave anything in your life, and I know this might sound tough, but you're not going to leave anything that you are not prepared for to overcome. You're always going to be able to overcome all your suffering, all your fears, all the problems that you might have, and these are the challenges that you have contracted as a soul before coming to this plane, to this life. And you did that because you had to learn things, you had to understand things, and you had to clear your karma, and you had to clear your shadows. So you did that before coming here. You said, I am going to go through this because I need to understand what you have to. And everything that we're going to have to understand, if we overcome those lessons, what we are going to overcome are shadow parts of us and our dualities. And as we clear this, our light body is going to be more pure. And this is why I always say that purity is freedom. As clear as you can go, as farther as you can go in your consciousness. It doesn't have to do with your mind. It doesn't have to do with your level of understanding. It's not a mind thing. It's a heart process. It has to do with your Holy Spirit and clearing your Holy Spirit, which is your eternal spark, your spark of God. That is here. It's in our heart chakra. This is why you're always going to see Jesus in many of the paintings putting his hand here in his heart. He's always showing you that the way up is through our hearts. This is what he does. He taught us this. So we need to tap into our hearts to clear all that is making us suffer, and all our judgments to the outside have to do with things that we have to clear, our mirrors of things that we have to accept that are part of creation. And the way to do this, and I have said this in other videos, is through love, unconditional love for creation, with non-duality, forgiveness and compassion, which means being able to hold space for creation. So as much more as you can hold space as a mother, this is mothering creation. So as much more space as you can hold and understand without judgment of God's creation, that means that your heart is more open, that you are more understanding of everything, and that means that you're going up the ladder of your own consciousness. So in particular, Christ consciousness and what Jesus Christ came to teach us was the process of ascension. So there are 3 steps in the process that he taught us, and you can see this in other places, other people talking about it, are the process of death, resurrection, and ascension. So this is the symbolism behind his crucifixion was this. He taught us that he's the Son of God, so he already knew he was going to go through this process. I mean, come on, guys. He's the Son of God. So he obviously knew that he came here for this. This was his mission. So he's not a victim. This is a part of the play for all humanity to ascend in its consciousness. So he taught us that even though your body, your density, your physical body can die, and you can live out of your life certain shadow, because this is what we're clearing, what dies in us, the process of death, the destruction has to do with this, what gets destroyed in the tower of the tarot. What gets destroyed is what is not truth. And what remains after that death, that process of change, this is what change has to do with. So we go through a change, a death, an ego death. So something in us, a shadow work, something in us dies for us to clear, to resurrect, to rebirth, to become the phoenix that ascends from the ashes. And then we ascend. We ascend to a higher level of consciousness of our light body. Of course, this was Jesus Christ. This is why his resurrection was shown. He showed to the world through his own experience that he could come back from the dead, that he could become resurrected, because he was Jesus Christ, the Son of God. And he didn't want to teach to us that he was the only one capable of doing it. In fact, his teachings, what he was preaching about, was how to teach us, everyone, the process of Christ consciousness. This is why now in spirituality we're talking about the Christ consciousness, which is the process to ascend in our light body. Christ consciousness in particular has to do, and I do the cross because the halo that Christ has on his head has to do with the moment that you have a connection to the divine, to divinity. That is a direct connection. You have opened your crown chakra, you have cleared your energy, and now you are worthy to connect to the higher realms of divinity, so you can understand what that is about. This is one of the meanings of the cross. There are others that I'm going to say. So Christ consciousness has to do with becoming that light being that we already are, that we have inside our hearts. It's living from unconditional love for ourselves and for creation, which includes everyone and everything that is made, that is being created by God. So the Christ consciousness has to do with your unconditional love. The process of ascension to the light make us go through different lessons, and in those lessons there's always something that we're suffering for, because there is a certain duality that we have to overcome. There is something that hurt us because we think it's coming from the outside and we don't understand it. But the truth is that the end of that process and that lesson has to do with understanding and forgiving, and be willing to give compassion to others and hold space even for those who you call your enemies. So there are no enemies, in fact. That doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. It's just people that are playing roles for you to learn stuff. That's it. That's the only thing. So sorry, but it's how it works. So if you learn the lesson, then the problem is gonna go. You're gonna solve it, and you're gonna solve it inside yourself. Maybe outside you won't see a big change at first, but it's gonna happen. But in the inside, if you already go through the process of forgiving yourself and forgiving the others and holding space for the process, then you are going to nurture that with unconditional love, as Christ did for the people that kill him. Because yes, they killed him. Yeah, that bad. And this is why we shouldn't be devoting our faith to the cross of wood, but to the cross, the solar cross of his head. Because the wood cross has to do with the density, but the solar cross in the halo on his head, that is golden, has to do with the divine, has to do with what really resurrected in him, which was his heart and his consciousness. So the cross has an intersection, and this cross that goes in the head transpasses all your third eye. So it means that in the middle of your head is your pineal gland. So imagine the cross behind your head. You can feel your halo if you want to. You can feel it, you already have it there. This is part of your crown chakras, and these are the 8th, that connected to the 8th and the 9th dimensions of your being. You can see it in the Vitruvian Man. Even Robert Grant has explained this greatly, because he showed us that in the Vitruvian Man, the dimensions of the sphere above the head are related to the moon, to the full moon. And today we're in a full moon, so it's a great day to talk about this. And it's what the Egyptians wore on their heads. So what we have on top of our heads is our connection to divinity. Our crown chakra is just the door, the portal to connect us to the divine realms. And those divine realms, we can connect to them with our intuition and by clearing our light body. So it's better if you're clear, because if not, you're going to open your intuition, your third eye, and you're going to connect to the different information. So to connect to the clear information, to the light information, you have to be clearer. So the solar cross that Jesus showed us and that he has, is his symbol, is the way to show us, is the opening door to the right path, to the middle path. He says there is only one path. There is only one right middle path. You can go through different things, like the serpents in your caduceus. You can take one way or you can take the other, and you're going to go up. You're going to go up. But the middle path, the one that goes through the center, that has to do with the highest priest, this is what the second major arcane explains about, is that there is only one middle path that connects you directly with your moon through your crown chakra to the divinity, to the divine realms. So this is what we have to choose, the middle path. So in past life regressions, when people enter into their light body and we see the different layers and steps of their process, depending on where you are at, you're gonna enter to the light if your guides and your higher self allow you to, because you're ready to see what's inside the light. And when you get in the light, there's always a common experience. In general, there's a common experience where you feel peace, calm, love. There's a level of gratitude and joy, beautiful, and everything is golden, white, and yellow. It's like you're in a space that is like being inside the clouds. Sometimes, many times, in fact, your guides are gonna show themselves to you. I try to invite the guides to come in so you can see them. Your guides can be ancestors, sometimes parents or people from your own family, other type of ancestor, and there are like the wise ones, the wise, they're not gods, they're like wise people that have ascended. So you have different wise guides that can come and that are being around you. You can have angels as your guides. We always have angels, but not all the time they show themselves to us. You can have archangels as your guides, and some people that are very in an upper level can see what we will call paradise. So people enter to a place that many have called Shambhala. That's the city of God. And in that realm, you can see mountains, you can see temples, white crystal temples. Sometimes there are other beings that you can see in that space. And if you are in a higher level, you're gonna go to the Olympus. You're gonna be able to see and feel Virgin Mary, angels, different ascended masters. Maybe they can show you Jesus Christ. Sometimes you can see deities as the ones that we know from Greek and Roman ancient mythologies. Zeus, Hera, different goddesses and gods. And sometimes you can see the white horses of God, okay, the legions of God, of Christ, and different actors, different goddesses, different gods from the realms of God. And they show themselves if you are ready to see them and feel them, because your light body is ready to access to that realm. So it is said that only the worthy shall pass. This means that when you are ready to get back and go back home, and you can do it, and sometimes you do it through a ladder. In fact, you can search for it. I'm going to put a picture of it. People channel this information. Many people channel this information. Some people paint it. So when you go to these churches or these ancient monuments and you see those beautiful paintings of the Olympus, of God, of Christ, of Virgin Mary, and many of them, and you feel the clarity of the painting, the energy, the frequency that is loving and light, this is a portal for you to see how it is there inside the light. And you access to that place not by traveling through a spaceship, and they don't take you somewhere. Like, your soul is already there. It's your spirit, in fact, that is already there. You have it in the center of your heart. So what we do in the different lifetimes is that we clear the experience in the outside, and we clean it. We clear, we clean, we heal ourselves, and we come back inside. So it's a less dependable on the outside experience and a more related to our inner presence, our relationship to ourselves in the present moment of the now, and a loving relationship to ourselves. So as more unconditional as your relationship is to you, in my case to myself, as more loving as much more as I love myself, but a real love, no, not the ego love, dependable on the love of others, but my real love. That is what we're talking about. Your forgiveness to yourself, your unconditional love for yourself. As much more as you go inside, and as much more as you are connected to your presence and to your essence, because you have a light body that has a frequency, and that frequency is related to your virtues, to your gifts. And these gifts and virtues is like your ethics, it's like your principles. The most important is what you take. So as much more as you come in, you are here and you are there. You are here now and you are there with God. You're gonna see around in your life, you're gonna meet people, and you're gonna see places, you're gonna feel when you connect to certain people and when you connect to certain places what Christ consciousness is. Some people, who we call the saints and the ascended masters and the angels and Jesus and all the family related to Jesus, not only Virgin Mary but Mary Magdalene, his brothers and sisters who were also there, and so many others. So much love is there. This frequency is a solar frequency, is pure sunlight, because this is the frequency of God. The frequency of God is the Christ consciousness, is the clearest light of all. There is no shadow inside that level of light. No shadow, no contrast, is oneness, what we call oneness and wholeness. This is it. So in there, in that level of joy, of love, of peace, of wisdom, there is presence, pure presence. There is an innocent presence as well, and there is a very happy, joyful light and life. You can have that life here by understanding what you have to clear, which are the lessons that you're learning through your different experiences, by overcoming that with your will to do it, with your own strength, and doing the process, the emotional process of grieving and letting go of all that is not working out for you, making the changes that you have to, and forgiving, having compassion for yourself and for others. This process is going to help you get there. If you want to go there, you can go there. This is what Christ taught us. You can do the process. You are worthy of loving yourself that much and of accessing to the real paradise that is the Olympus. And when you allow the energy of the sun to come through you, what you are letting in is God's frequency. So this is why people are so happy in the summer, because they are connecting to God and they don't even know it. So it's funny and it's fun because we all get almost naked at the beach and have fun between each other, and we're not having this dense idea of sexuality. We're in half a paradise, And this is why. Because half of you is already there. Have a lovely summer when it comes. For now, we're gonna have a beautiful spring